Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 3 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the Kuda submachine gun. So far, this is my favorite weapon in all of Black Ops 3, and I think it's one of the better weapons, so we're going to be giving it a little bit of extra special attention today. And you will notice that as my camo changes throughout this gameplay, that means my attachments have also changed, so you can see it in a variety of configurations. Let's start off with the thing that everybody wants to know first, and that's the damage. This weapon has 4 different damage profiles, depending on range. Black Ops 3 weapons can have up to 5 different total damages, which is a little bit more than previous Call of Duty games, but up close it'll deal 35 damage, 30 at medium range, 23 at what we'll call medium long range, and 19 at maximum range or very long range. And don't worry, we will get to the exact numbers in a little bit. This means that it can take between 3 and 6 shots to kill, depending on how far away you are from the enemy, but it's usually 4 shots to kill. I'm going to tell you the vast majority of the time this is a 4-shot kill weapon, but let's take a quick look at the ranges. The 3-shot kill range is very, very short at 5 meters. This is less than shotgun range. This is pretty much barrel stuffing or face stuffing range, and you can increase that a little bit with a long barrel, but not tremendously. The 4-shot kill range, however, is very impressive for a submachine gun at all the way out to 25 meters. I think that's very good, and I think that's what makes this weapon as competitive as it is. However, you're probably also wondering about the 5-shot kill range, because that's about the maximum range that this weapon is useful, or which you can hope to outgun an AR user, and that is 50 meters, which is again very, very impressive for a 5-shot kill. That means that it's going to be competing pretty well in assault rifle ranges. Not perfectly, mind you, because ARs will probably be 4 shots at that range, and there's accuracy concerns and other things like that, but you can do it if you're accurate enough. Another question we need to ask in conjunction with how much damage it does is, what is the headshot multiplier? Headshot multipliers in Black Ops 3 are very similar to Black Ops 2 and Advanced Warfare, typically very low modifiers. The headshot modifier for the Kuda is 1.1x, or it'll deal 10% bonus damage when you hit somebody in the head. What this means is that headshots are useful at long ranges. If you remember the damage profile, that's 35, 30, 23, and 19, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever until we hit that 23 and 19, because that's going to bump it up to about 25 and 20 respectively, so you get 1 less shot to kill at those ranges. So I would recommend not going for headshots up close, as they're not going to help you, but it will help you get your camos a little bit easier. The rate of fire is coded at exactly 720 RPM. Good to see. That's a good frame rounding number. Even though frame rounding is supposedly removed from the game, it's good to see that they're choosing numbers here just in case that wasn't the truth. And if you're wondering for reference how this stacks up to other guns, this is exactly the same as the MSMC from Black Ops 2, which I feel this gun is very similar to performance-wise, and 720 RPM is actually a little bit slower than most of the submachine guns in Black Ops 3. For some reason, BO3 submachine guns shoot very, very fast, so this one's definitely going to be a little bit on the slower end, but of course, because of the high damage, it's a little bit heavier hitting. Now that we have a very good understanding of the damage profile, of the range profile, of the headshots, and various other performance factors, let's talk about time to kill. Time to kill is very competitive up close, and the 4-shot kill range is pretty much on par with the other submachine guns, again considering over the entirety of range, and at long ranges it's still pretty good. It's not bad, but there are other weapons that, like the Razorback. The Razorback is pretty godly at long ranges, but it's an overall very competitive time to kill at most ranges. I don't think it ranks as first at any range, but it hits second at a lot of different ranges, so we're second best in a lot of places, which means we're always able to compete with other weapons. I do feel that this weapon has excellent iron sights. They are very easy to use, very clear. I like the nice big rounded ones with the vertical foresight and the tiny little colored dot. It makes it very, very easy for me to acquire targets, very easy to track targets, and I'm not likely to lose targets because there's not too many obstructions. I personally have no need whatsoever to run a red dot sight or any type of optics on this weapon, especially not long range ones, but you can if you want to. It certainly doesn't hurt anything. Moving on to accuracy, I find this weapon to have excellent submachine gun accuracy, and the accuracy, most importantly, is easy to control. So of course it's an SMG, yes it kicks, no it's not as accurate as an assault rifle, it's certainly not a laser. The Razorback in the SMG category is going to be our laser, but for the damage it deals and for its rate of fire and all of this, it is very easy to control and works very, very well within its preferred range. I seriously doubt that any of you will have difficulty controlling this weapon. However, if you do, a foregrip will will help on it. It'll help pull things back down to normal, so you can totally run a foregrip and that'll help. If you want to see this weapon's accuracy profile, how it kicks with and without a foregrip, I didn't include it in this episode because I had it at the end of the very last episode, which was on the foregrip. So if you want to click on the foregrip episode and check that out, you can see exactly how this one will perform. We do just standard wall tests and that kind of stuff. It has a good hipfire accuracy, but most submachine guns are like this. I would say most because I've looked at the entire stat chart and there are a few outliers in Black Ops 3. There are a few SMGs that have better or worse hipfire, but this one is pretty standard. You're not going to find anything wrong with it. You can hipfire pretty well in a lot of situations. You can run laser sight on it. That's one of the other attachments that I'll be talking about near to the end of the episode. The laser sight works quite well if you just like to sprint with this and spray and put it in people's faces. No issues there. Aim down sights time is 200 milliseconds, which is average for submachine guns, and I added that average because, again, in Black Ops 3 there's a lot of weapon variety. The aim down sights times are different on almost every single submachine gun. Some will ADS significantly slower than this, and some are going to ADS significantly faster than this. However, the Kuda is very average in this department, and of course this is faster than assault rifles or light machine guns or snipers or anything like this, so you can snap to targets pretty effectively. However, I personally prefer running the quick draw grip on it so I can super snap to targets really fast and get that nice ADS accuracy and kill people very quickly. One of the areas where the Kuda excels is that it has an excellent reload time of 1.8 seconds, which is very fast even in the submachine gun category. There are other different little timers for how long the animation takes, your reload time, full time, empty time, all these different various times, but for this in-depth episode and moving forward, just kind of to simplify things so that you're not getting blown up with numbers here, I'm going to go with the fastest reload time, which is usually the cancel time, which you can sprint or YY or whatever. So that's going to be the reload time that we're reporting, not the full animation time. And again, at 1.8 seconds, I think it's tied for fastest submachine gun and one of the fastest reloading weapons in the entire game. Wall penetration factor, surprisingly, is medium. This is the same as assault rifles. Looking at the stat chart, most of the submachine guns actually have a medium wall penetration factor, which means they wall bang just as well as assault rifles. A few of the weaker ones, I think the VMP and maybe the Vesper, have like proper SMG and like pistol level low caliber wall penetration, but the Kuda and a lot of the other ones can wall bang pretty well, so do keep that in mind. Don't feel ashamed at all about going for wall bangs, because you can totally do that with SMGs in Black Ops 3, unlike past Call of Duty games. You don't see me doing a lot in the gameplay here because my COD instincts just tell me, you have an SMG, you can't wall bang, don't do that, when I probably could. Moving toward the end of the episode, let's talk about some subjective stuff. Where this weapon fits in your classes. Is it compatible? Is it competitive? What's the best way to use it? All that sort of good stuff. And I think that this is a top tier submachine gun. It is viable both in public matches and in competitive, and it's one of the better SMGs all around. I've looked at all the SMGs, I've looked at the stats, and again, Black Ops 3 has a lot of great weapons. This one, I think, is one that's going to see a lot of use in the competitive scene, and I think once people use it, I mean, it's the first starting SMG, so people kind of poo-poo on it, but I think you're going to get to see a lot of it in public matches as well. As for what it's best with or best used at and how, I say it's best used without a silencer. The true strength of this weapon is that it has very consistent shots to kill over range, being the 4-shot kill range. When you put a silencer on there, it kind of nukes that and makes it kind of dumpy. It's best used without a silencer and at medium range. It's very effective at medium range. It kills quickly. It competes with other submachine guns and assault rifles. It's very rough and tumble. It's an easy pick weapon. If you don't want to specialize in anything, you can grab the Kuda, and you can't go wrong with it unless you put a silencer on it. A silencer, you will definitely go wrong, and you will definitely feel like you're shooting pellets or M&Ms or Skittles or whatever at your enemies, maybe marshmallows even, because it just won't seem to do anything. As for recommended attachments, I tend to run this with one attachment and one attachment only. That is the quick draw grip. I feel that I do not need the foregrip for accuracy. I don't need long barrel to extend my 3-shot kill range. I don't need any sort of optical attachments because the iron sights are good. I certainly don't need a laser sight because I can hip fire pretty well. Stock's not necessary. You sidestep pretty good on submachine guns. The only thing I really need on the Kuda is a quick draw grip. Just a quick, and that frees up a lot of other, of my pick 10 spots for more attachments for my secondary launcher, not more attachments, more tacticals, more lethals, more perks, more wild cards, secondary launchers, whatever it is I want to run. I just need the quick draw grip. It's totally acceptable. If you want if you have trouble with the recoil, run a foregrip. You can jump the quick draw grip. If you hate the iron sights, red dot sight is fine. If you really want to hip fire, laser sight is fine. It's hard to go wrong with the weapon, but I feel the way to go most right is just with that good old standard quick draw grip. Just rock that and stack on a whole bunch of perks or or lethals or whatever, and you're going to be very, very successful at Black Ops 3. A little bit of extra news at the end of this video. All of the official stats are out, and they're going to be on Brass Monkey's Ultimate Utility app this year. I think he's working with Marvel 4, so he's going to have all of the official stats on that app. That's linked down there in the description, just in case you don't want to watch these in-depth episodes. Guys, that is all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on foregrip stats. The next episode is going to be on the VMP submachine gun. Don't hold me to it too hard, though, because other little bits of news does tend to come up this time of year, and I'm trying to do the weapon reviews pretty well, so I might need 2 days on this one. That's all for now.